Hi, my name is John Maxwell, and welcome to Minute with Maxwell. I'm so excited to bring you this 5-part video series of my book, The Leader's Greatest Return, Attracting, Developing, and Multiplying Leaders. And I'm also delighted to have here today 3 certified John Maxwell team members. I've got Macy, I've got John, I've got Shanita, and I'm going to share with all 3 of you key principles out of this book so that you can grow and you can obviously add value to others, because that's what we do. We learn so we can pass it on to others. So are you ready to go?
Ready.
From chapter 2, I talk about the leadership table. In fact, let me give you a quote. The table is meant to attract potential leaders and to find out if they will become leaders. And so today's word on Minute with Maxwell is attract. You know, leadership is more caught than taught. And I love chapter 2. In fact, somebody asked me the other day, what's my favorite chapter in this Leader's Greatest Return book? And I said, I think it's chapter 2. And because I talk about attract or bring people to sit with you at the leadership table. And you know, when we're around the table right now, and it's a time of us learning and growing, I love tables. There's something, I think, very intimate about it. I mean, it's where you sit down with friends and you partake in food and great conversation. Probably nothing I like better than, you know, a great meal with great food, great conversation, wonderful people. And I talk in this book about developing a leadership table. And the leadership table is attractive to people who want to learn how to lead. In other words, it's like, come and sit beside me, Shanita, and participate in the leadership discussion. We're going to talk leadership. We're going to ask questions about leadership. We're going to throw out ideas a lot about leadership. And the reason that I love this chapter is that to develop a leadership culture, you have to make it conducive for potential leaders to learn how to lead. And one of the quickest ways to learn how to lead is to associate with other leaders. So in your leadership table where leaders sit, I suggest in this book that you bring new people and let them sit at the table with you. Let them ask questions. And here's what I've discovered, and this is why I think chapter 2 is such an important one. When I bring new people to the table and let them get in leadership discussion and rub elbows with leaders and that whole process, what I find is that those who have kind of a leaning toward leadership, they literally lean into the table. I mean, all of a sudden, you know, they're participating, or you can tell that they're just enraptured by what's being said. And to be honest with you, there are sometimes you bring people to the table and they kind of lay back and you can almost tell that it's not their thing. And so what I found about the leadership table is it's a place where you give people a chance to get maybe their first leadership exposure and environment. And out of that, what happens, John, is that I discover that there are some people who have a leaning toward leadership, and so they're the ones that you begin to develop and work with. And then there are some that they basically have other gifts that they're going to be able to use for the company and help the organization. So, at Minute with Maxwell, I invite you to, in this video series, do 2 things. One is I hope that you get the book, The Leader's Greatest Return, because all the compounding in your life is always in developing other people. But I hope that you sit at the leadership table with me over this series and just every time we're together, just kind of lean in to be a better leader. That's what I want for you 3. That's what I want for you. I'm glad you're with me today on Minute with Maxwell.